I will never forget the energy and excitement in his voice as Emeka shared his plans with me. The year was 1996, and he wanted to go back to Nigeria. He was tired of America and had this dream of starting a world-class airline with a modern fleet. He believed that it was time for us all to go back and give back to our fatherland. A year after he moved back, he had adjusted his focus from aviation to the tech sector. After a few years, he moved on to fintech, and then, when that didn't work, he tried software development. His products were good, but a certain state government refused to pay him, and that company folded before he moved on to educational software, thinking that Nigeria was ready to transition to e-learning. This also didn't work, so he moved his American wife and kids to the village to face agriculture, since he inherited several hectares of farmland. But again, he had the headsmen to contend with. When I saw Emeka at the airport last week leaving Nigeria with his now dark American wife and kids, there was a vacant and bitter look on his face. Odikwanma I asked, to which he replied, "We are leaving Sodom." After he regaled me with his misfortunes of the last 26 years in Nigeria, I couldn't help but wonder, was God not in the city, or was God not in his plans? Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven, and he overthrew those cities and all the plain, all the inhabitants of the cities, and that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. The name Sodom and Gomorrah is often associated with a place or city of pervasive sexual immorality. The story is told in Genesis 19 of the two angels who visited Sodom, and how Lot convinced them to abide in his home. Shortly after, the men of the city, both old and young, besieged Lot's home and instructed him to send his guests out, that they may have their way with them. Lot offers his two virgin daughters to the mob in lieu of his guests, begging them to spare the strangers who were innocent. They refused and insisted on having their way with the strangers, who, unbeknownst to them, were angels. The angels saved Lot and his daughters from the mob and asked him to leave the city immediately with his family, since they were on a mission to destroy the city, having confirmed the reports that had reached God of the wickedness of the people. Lot tries to warn his son-in-laws, who mocked him, and so he escapes with his daughters. But his wife, who turned back to see the destruction, was turned into a pillar of salt. Many of us have heard messages titled, "Remember Lot's Wife," a message often warning of the consequences of looking back or turning back to what God has pulled you away from. That's not my message today, even though I wonder why she looked back. Was it just a case of curiosity, or was it a case of not wanting to live the life she knew and loved? Do you know what's interesting about the story of Lot and his family? Is that Lot chose that land because, looking at it from the natural eye, it was a land of opportunities. That's all he saw, the prospects of success. Even though the men of Sodom were known to be wicked and sinners before God, Lot didn't care. Even after he and his family were captured by the conquering army, led by the king of Elam, and then rescued by Abraham, Lot still went back to Sodom, the land of the wicked. Why? What was the attraction for him? It was clear that Lot was not like the people of Sodom and Gomorrah and had nothing in common with them. So why did he stay there? I suspect it was his wife. She loved the life in Sodom. Even after the angels warned them to leave, Lot still lingered because he knew his wife wouldn't agree to come. So the angels had to drag him, his wife, and two daughters out of the city. But she still looked back wistfully at her beloved city as it was destroyed. Was this Emeka's story? I'm not suggesting his wife kept him in Nigeria, but was his Nigerian story a case of one seeing the prosperity the land offered and turning a blind eye to the wickedness in the land. Sodom was known more for wickedness than sexual immorality. What is Nigeria known for today? The same wickedness multiplied by 100. Yesterday, I watched a video of the soldier who was raped and butchered. I just couldn't stop screaming. When did we become a land of murderers? When did we become so wicked? The worst thing was the fact that Nigerians were not moved. No national outcry, no protest. It's normal. Haba, you too do. Relax. That one is small. This is what our attitude seems to suggest. This is the story of Sodom. A people who were not all wicked, but who were tolerant and accepting of wickedness as a way of life. This is also Nigeria. What is the report reaching God today about Nigeria? Wickedness. Wickedness has become a way of life for us. We are all tainted by it. We are all tolerant of it. It doesn't move or seek in us. The party goes on even as some mourn. Lot had dreams and plans for Sodom. He never actualized them. He went into Sodom with wealth and he left with nothing. He also lost the wife that he valued so much. Sodom is a place where dreams die. Sodom is a place of stunted growth. Sodom is a place of hopelessness. Sodom is a place that suppresses those who truly want to serve God. Sodom is Nigeria. Does God want to destroy Nigeria? That's not what I'm saying. But you best be sure that Nigeria is worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom is a place that lacks love. God is no longer in the business of destruction because he found one man in the world worthy enough to stop him from destroying the world. His name is Yehoshua. Many call him Jesus. But men are still in the business of destruction, as we can see from what Putin is doing in Ukraine and what is happening in Nigeria. What are we to do? Should we run from Nigeria? Earlier, I asked, was God not in the city? Was God not in the plans? But the most important question today is, was God not with Emeka? This is all that matters today. Is God with you? Is God in you? This is the difference that brings light in the midst of the wickedness. If God is with you, go wherever he says you should go, and he will bless you. Do whatever he says you should do, and he will prosper you. Stay wherever he says you should stay, and he will protect you. This was the difference between Abraham and Lot. One trusted God, the other trusted the land he saw. Who or what are you trusting? God bless you all.